Hello, people of the cardboard, and welcome back to Fun Decks. Apologize for delay on this. I know this news did come out this morning. Truth be told, I did record a reveal of this already, and unfortunately, there's something iffy with the file. So I had to wait and then re-record now. But hey, it's actually good because we're back to our normal setup. So should be better quality visuals and audio, hopefully. But without further ado, I do want to actually review it. And before I get into it, give me a like, comment, and subscribe if you're interested in this stuff. I do actually really value when I get more subscriptions. It feels good. Anyway, so starting off, we have, I believe, 8 are about new TCG exclusive kind of pack filler cards. These come in the back of the packs, and usually they're hit or miss. I like how Konami in recent sets have basically decided they're going to give mini archetypes that aren't direct support to existing archetypes. You know, they aren't going to follow the name, but for example, there was Flip Monster support a few packs ago. Then there was like a Machine Psychic support and stuff. So I like that they're giving these, again, mini archetypes that kind of support existing strategies without being name support. And this set is no different. They did actually, I think, 2 or 3. So let's get into it. So we have Disguise, the Copycat Hero. This is a level 4 Light Warrior tuner. Attack 14, defense 12. And then if you have an equip card or equip spell in your field or graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal special summoned, you can add 1 Cursed Copycat Normal Arms from your deck to your hand. Okay. And then while this card is equipped with an equip card, you can target 1 non-tuner warrior monster on the field with a level. This card's level and also its name becomes the same as that monster's until the end phase. And they can only use that effect once per turn, or each effect once per turn. All right. So this card is actually kind of cool just as a generic tuner extender in general for any deck that can have equip souls engrave. We had Isolde. This would actually be really interesting. But alas, we don't. I mean, I think this does have Noble Knight implications, especially because, as you can probably see down here, they do actually have a legit Noble Arms. It is supposed to be kind of a copycat, but it is a Noble Arms by name. So I do think there's a couple methods of searching that, which is cool. And this card, of course, is just able to search it itself on summon. So as long as you play a deck with an equipped spell in it, you can just extend this from hand, gain a search for a equipped card, and then modulates level. I think obviously there's Noble Knights and Ignoble Knights. And then Mekanko, I think, can have some support Mekanko because they do have a Fire Warrior themselves. And this could be cool because as long as this is equipped with anything, you could modulate its level to match as long as you have their Fire Warrior, which I think is kind of their main starter anyway. So it's interesting, but let's keep reading. So we have Cursed Copycat Noble Arms. So again, this is a Noble Arms card. And I believe that you can search this out with the field spell. And I think there might be another Noble Arms equipped spell that can do something with it. But anyway, the equipped monster gains 200 attack and defense for each equipped spell in your field or graveyard. Not big, not bad. I mean, it's minimum just going to be 200 itself, but it could add up. And then while this card is equipped to a warrior monster, you can activate this effect. You cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except warrior monsters. Also special summon 1 more warrior monster with the same attribute and level as the equipped monster, but different name from your deck. And if you do equip it with this card, then destroy the monster this card was equipped to. And you can only use that effect once per turn. All right, so basically you can tag out a warrior monster to a different one with the same attribute and level. So theoretically, with just this card itself, even if you just have to normal summon it, you can use it to search the Copycat Noble Arms, equip it, and then tag into any light warrior. I think that's pretty cute. You are locked into warriors, so it's not incredibly broken. But just as like a nice extender piece, I think that's interesting. I think if this was fire, this could actually see play. I think this could have been pretty cool. This was just a fire warrior. But instead it's light. So I think I don't know. I think we'll have to see if this actually does anything. It's also interesting that the attribute never changes with its own effect, just its level. So even though this can like summon out any light level 4 warrior just on its own, it is weird to me that it doesn't actually change its attribute to match it. So I kind of think that would make more sense. So it's odd. But again, they have 1 more support card, which is a synchro monster. So it's Chambar, the flashy sports knight. It's a level 8 warrior synchro effect. Attack 27, defense 21, and takes 1 tuner or one or more non-tuners, so it's generic. And then monsters your opponent controls lose 400 attack for each equipped spell you control. It kind of wishes count engrave like the other effects, but fine. And then you can only each of the following effects of Chombar, the Flash is born once per turn. You can target one other card in the field, send one equipped card from your hand or deck to the grave. And if you do, destroy that target. That's pretty cool. Again, I'm not sure what decks actually have equipped spells that can act from the grave. I think Makanko does. But outside that, I'm not sure there's options. And then if this card's in your grave, you can target 2 face-up cards in your spell trap card zone, destroy them, and if you do, special summon this card. So, I mean, it's pretty cool that it can kind of summon itself, pop, and I think, arguably, again, Mikanko, I think has some stuff in the grave that's pretty cool. Obviously, there's that one equipped spell, Phoenix Blade, or is it Phoenix Blade or something like that can banish warrior monsters to add it to hand, which could theoretically be interesting. I think there just needs to be a larger supply of equipped spells that like to be sent from the deck. And this 2 face-up cards, it's fine. It's not super ideal. That just 2 is pretty extreme. I think 1 would have been fine, especially for this card. But overall, it's cool. I think it might be an extra resource for something. But anyway, that's the end of the equipped spell support, and then we move into might be War Rock support. I don't know. Let's see what you think. All right, so this is phase in Hunting Scout of the Deep Forest. It's a level 5 Earth Warrior, attack 23, defense 23, and it takes 2 Earth Warrior monsters. So it's unaffected by opponent's active effects during the main phase only, and then during the battle phase, it's a quick effect. You contribute this fusion summon card, so summon 2 Earth Warrior monsters from your graveyard except this card. And if you do, your Earth Warrior monsters cannot be destroyed by battle for the rest of the turn. You can only use this effect once per turn. So it's pretty cool. Again, this seems like a War Rock effect. I know they care a lot about the battle phase, and then summoning stuff back is pretty nifty. But let's see how it kind of ties into this other support for it. So this is Chavrel, Hunting Scout of the Deep Forest. Let me read. Yeah, so they both are Hunting Scouts. So it's a new archetype. It's level 7 Earth Warrior, attack 26, defense 26. And then materials take 1 level 5 or higher Earth Warrior monster and then 1 Earth Warrior monster. So again, this one, just like the first, is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects during the main phase only. And then your opponent's monsters that can attack must attack the monster you control with the highest attack, their choice of tide. And then when another Earth Warrior monster you control destroys opponent's monster by battle, you can special summon 1 Earth Warrior monster from your graveyard or banishment. You can only use that effect once per turn. So obviously it's odd. This one seems weaker. I get that it's supposed to help expend because it doesn't lose itself, and it does have like a vague protection effect. But let's read the last card in this mini archetype, and then we'll see. This is Hunting Horn. It's a quick play spell card. Fusion 1 Earth Warrior fusion monster from your deck using warrior monsters from your hand or field. Then if you activate this card in the battle phase, you can choose monster your opponent controls up to the number of materials used from the hand for this fusion summon, and their attack becomes halved until the end of the battle phase. And you cannot declare attack turn activate this card except with Earth Warrior monsters. So you see why I'm saying this is Earth Warrior, why this is War Rock support. I think there's also the 5-star monsters that were kind of a combination of Earth and Light Warrior monsters, especially a couple level 5 monsters. But it really reads War Rock specifically just because there's a lot of battle phase. So I think the idea theoretically would be that you have 2, let's say you have 2 Earth Warrior monsters on field. You attack with them like War Rock. War Rock's actually pretty good at extending during the battle phase. And then you can use Hunting Horns effect to fusion summon in the battle phase, which is cool. A lot of recent quick play fusion cards tend to say you can only use in the main phase to prevent this exact reason, multiple attacks. But it's cool this one kind of leans into it instead. So you attack with them first, use Hunting Horn to go into your first monster, attack with it, and then use its effect send to bring back those 2 Earth Warrior monsters you use for the fusion summon, or any 2 you have in grave, and then attack. So it's pretty easy to OTK. The main downside of this not being War Rock support by name is, of course, that Hunting Horn is not searchable. It's just a 3 of, which is very inconvenient. And you notice that this archetype doesn't even have like a consistent name. For example, if this was Deep Forest, like Hunting Horn or the Deep Forest or something like that, it indicate that maybe down the line we get a searcher for this, but they're not. This is just Hunting Horn. So unless they want to say hunting is its own archetype, I think this is probably just what we'll have to live with for now. And I don't think Warrock support actually fusion summons. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Maybe they do and I'm just missing it. But I think while this is kind of interesting, I don't think this is really that meta relevant. Anyway, continue on. We have Licorice Lily Reaper. This is a level 5 Dark Plant Synchro Effect Monster. Attack 800, Defense 2400. It takes one tuner and one more non-tuner, so it's generic. And then if a monster is sent from the field to your opponent's graveyard, where this is your main monster zone, even during the damage step, you can gain life points equal to one of those monsters' attack in their graveyard. And if your opponent takes effect damage while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card, send one monster from the field to the graveyard with attack less than or equal to the difference in your life points and your opponent's. All right, so I think you can only use each effect once per turn. So it's kind of interesting. This is arguably, I thought initially, Black Garden support because it has an attack of 800, which worked very well with Black Garden. And I know they had Black Rose support in Doom of Dimensions where this is being released. So I thought that might be where they're going for, but this is far more Arrow Mage support. And I know there's kind of like plant synchro blends a bit, so it's not like you would only have one or the other. I do like that this is a target for Black Garden if it comes up, but this probably is just not really needed for Arrow Mage. I don't know. I think they have enough synchros, and this could kind of be an interruption during punch turn while this is in graveyard. It is cute. It's nice even that it doesn't have to be used for that. But I think the problem is dependent on your life point differential is a little iffy. And I don't know. I think Arrow Mage has enough methods of gaining life points that they would rather have a synchro monster that actually nets you some tangible advantage, add you a card, summon something back, and this just doesn't do that. So I think it's a cool maybe tool that the deck might keep in the extra deck, but I assume the extra deck space is pretty tight. It's not even like a synchro, or it's not even a synchro tuner, so I don't know. But hey, if you're a big plant synchro head, let me know. And then we have Silk Bomb Moth. So I thought this might be like a scary moth retrain. Anyway, it's a level 6 wind insect, attack 24, defense 1000, monarch stats. You gotta love to see it. That's, I love how they just keep printing monarch stats. They did this with the recent Archfiend card, so theoretically this could be splashed into a monarch deck if that exists. So if you have 2 more wind monsters in your graveyard and this card's in your hand, you can special summon it. And if you do, shuffle 1 wind monster from graveyard to the deck. And then if this card is in normal or special summon, you can reveal the top card of your opponent's deck and apply the appropriate effect based on its card type. So if it's a monster, you place your opponent's spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell. And if it's a spell trap, banish it. And you can only use each effect once per turn. I think this is cute. I think this is probably just backfill. It doesn't really do anything. Wind, I don't think there's like, you could argue that this is good insect support because insects kind of have just a random smattering of monsters in it. And so this is kind of an extender. But even though insects do have a lot of wins, I just don't think this is a consistent enough extender. Requiring 2 engrave is a lot, even if it does recycle some stuff. And it's a fact. It's cute, but kind of pointless at the same time, unless you just get lucky. So, yeah. I believe this is the last. I'm actually not sure if this normal monster is a TCG exclusive or world premiere, whatever we'll call it, or if it's an import. But I believe that this card is the last real TCG exclusive. So it is Fleeting Flower of the Magician. It's a quick play spell card. Target 1 face-up spell trap your opponent controls, or 1 spell trap you control, destroy it. Then if you target a card you control, you can apply one of these effects. So place 1 monster from your graveyard in your spell trap card zone as a face-up continuous spell, or add 1 equipped or continuous spell from your graveyard to your hand. You can only use activate 1 of this card per turn. So it is weird to me that they didn't go and say, oh, you can only activate 1 of these effects per turn. I know they've been doing that recently. But fine, I understand it's a little more complex because you have to pop a spell trap you control to even trigger it. So this card's cute. I think it's is it Typhoon or Twister? The MST variant that let you pop face-up cards back when MST was, or face-up spell and trap cards when MST was like limited and it was too broken. So it's cute that it does, I think, have some application just for popping like field spells can be good in this deck, even the recent strategies like Yummy. It does come up, just getting rid of their field spell. So, or if you want to go like Crystron or K9, anything, they have their own Tenki like cards. So this is still good as a interruption, but I like that as a combo piece. I think and it's cool that you could use this just like the new Magnificent cards. I forget what they were when they translated into the TCG, but how they could use MST to pop your own cards. This similarly could pop your spell cards and like active, for example, normal or quick play during your turn, chain this to target and destroy that card, and then you can get the additional effect. I think that's pretty cute. But I don't know what decks really can make good advantage of it. I think this is nice because it's just something in your back pocket for any deck that really could value having a monster as a continuous spell. There are some, Snake Eyes, for example, or Diabolical stuff, could like having this as an option to be back row hate or kind of set you up for gaining your own spell cards back too. So, for example, you can use this to get some of your simple spoils. I know they obviously have a good continuous spell. Just having that be set works as well. So I think this is cute. This is probably of all these the most meta relevant, and that's weird to say because it's kind of just like situational MST. But I think these additional effects in the right deck could warrant playing it. Obviously, it's not really searchable. So anyway, let's move into last cards. I believe the rest are world premieres. This one is just a called Lunar Rabbit Omajinai. It's a level 1 light spellcaster, tuner, normal monster, attack 0, defense 15. That's cool. I don't really think there's any deck where this was like what it was waiting for. There's Horned Brute Carnivorous. Carnivorous? Seems like it's spelled wrong. But anyway, this is a level... it says level 5 here, but the card clearly shows it's level 6. Dinosaur Synchro Tuner Effect Monster. This was revealed a long time ago with the Dirac support. Back when it was released in the OCG. So it's attack 2,000, defense 200, and it's completely generic, just one tuner and one more non-tuners. And so during the main battle phase, you can quick effect immediately after this effect resolves. Synchro one dinosaur monster using this card you control. When a monster clears attack, you can special one dinosaur monster from your hand and summon conditions. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except dinosaur monsters. You can only use each effect once per turn. So it's cute theoretically. You could use this, summon this, declare an attack either with this or some other dinosaur you control, any monster you control, and then use this to extend a dinosaur from your hand, and you can quick synchro. I think the idea here was that you can go out into direct meteor with this, which is obviously a powerful interaction during your opponent's turn, but honestly, the deck has several ways of doing it. I don't think this is really going to make Dirac playable, but hey, let me know if I'm wrong. And then we have Endymion, the Crescent Magistus. This is a Link 2 light spellcaster, and its attack 1800 with arrows left and down right. And it takes 2 monsters, including a level 4 spellcaster monster. So this is Link Summon. You can target one Magistus monster you control, equip with one spellcaster monster from your graveyard or banish it as an equipped spell. And then during the main phase, quick effect, you can target one spellcaster or monster card in your spell and trap card zone, treat it as a equipped spell, return it to the hand, and you can only use one effect per turn and only one. So I know that there's more Magistus supports. I've heard good things. I think, though, that what the deck was really waiting on more was Mir, I think is its name. I'm not sure if that's already been released or not, but I don't know if this is actually the make or break one. Yeah, it seems nice that obviously like you can get equip and then summon during your opponent's turn, but I don't think there's any Magistus monsters that are really incredible board breakers or actual interruptions during your opponent's turn when they're summoned. And most of the extra cards aren't actually being summoned properly, so they couldn't even be special summoned, I believe. But maybe I'm wrong. Or sorry, they're just returned to the hand. So again, I don't even know exactly why this had to be like why you couldn't use each effect in a given turn. But if I'm missing some hidden combo, let me know. And then the last new card, because we just have a Garn Rose Maiden reprint. The last real new card is Double Fusion. So you can pay 5, fusion summon one fuse monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field. Then you can fusion summon one or more fusion monsters from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field. So it basically fusion summons twice. Whether you can use that fusion monster again or just 2 separate ones. I think this could be interesting. I mean, obviously there are fusion decks out there. Lunalite, I think this theoretically could work for them. I know they already have plenty of good fusion methods to summon Liger Dancer or Gold Leo. And then Liger Dancer. And then I think this could also see some play in Draco Tail. I doubt, though. I mean, the deck has a lot of methods of fusion summoning as well. And I don't necessarily think this would really move the needle too much, especially because I think they do like to sequence their plays more rather than like throw everything into one big synchro that takes multiple like about to get there. But hey, again, if there's anything I've missed from this support, or there's anything you think is actually really broken from the support, let me know. And let me know if you like this video more than my previous ones where I was reacting blind. This one, I have read these before. I have a little bit more input and idea, at least, of what is at the bottom of the page. Anyway, Fun Deck signing out. Bye.